Dude.
I can't die.
Oh my god.
I can't die.
What?
Wait, hold on. Hold on. I
No
wonder.
fucking way.
Wait,
Wait, dude, the storm. Wait, the storm might not kill me.
bro, what is
I
this?
wonder if people can shoot me. Headshot. Dude, look.
How does that not hit?
Yo, Walker is sitting on totem.
Wait, why didn't you take totem?
I put him there.
He's on the left.
Bubbling right here. Bloodhound's right here.
Bloodhound's cracked. Nearly.
Right here as well.
There's one. Dead. I gotta heal.
112.
He's one. Kill that mother.
I hit him once.
Bro, 14? Come on, bro. 14s? 3 14s?
Finish.
Let's go, boys. Rezzing. Res. Another team.
Right here.
I knocked 2.
Right on him.
On the door. Stuck off.
On the roof, on the roof.
I stuck Bloodhound.
He's dead.
Behind me. Batting inside.
Path inside.
He's on roof.
I'm pushing him. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what you need to do to reach Diamond rank in Season 8 on Kings Canyon. You guys know I make a ton of solo queue guides to Diamond, and I do one just about every season, but in this video, I decided to squad up with my 2 friends and make a push for Masters again. In this first part of the video, I'm going to explain what I think are the best legends you should be playing on Kings Canyon in anything above Platinum rank. You can still play these legends in below Platinum rank, but I think this is the meta that's currently going on in the game, and I think once you reach Platinum, you will see a lot of these legends that I'm about to list. If you're taking the solo queue route, all of these legends are still very viable if you're solo queuing, and it's just kind of contingent on who you play and what your teammates are playing. But as far as the legend goes, I would say Bloodhound, Gibraltar, Caustic, Horizon, Revenant, Wraith, and Crypto are probably the top tier legends for ranked this split. Now, I do know a mid-season patch is going to shake up the meta, and that will probably change what legends will be played in the second split, which will be played on Olympus. Anyways, back to what you need to know in order to reach Diamond. You guys got to be aware that Kings Canyon is ripe for 3rd and 4th parties. It doesn't matter if you're on the edge of the map or you're in the dead center. The map is just insane with the 3rd parties. People can seem to hear your shots from far away and then they just send it. So I recommend trying to 3rd party a team shortly after you land if it's possible. So let's say 2 teams are going rig. Maybe you land swamps and you loot very quickly and you go try to 3rd party rig. That is the most ideal situation, and that's what we did a lot of the games. Land in a POI. If you are contested, that's fine. Fight that team off drop, but I don't look to contest off drop. I look to get some loot, feel a little comfortable, and then go 3rd party. We tended to land on the edge of the map about 90% of the time, but keep in mind, if you land edge, most of the time you're stuck rotating halfway across the map, and that can be problematic. More fights you take mid-game, the more likely you are to be 3rd party, even if you are the one doing the 3rd partying. As far as rotating across the map goes, it's really difficult. Some people in the lower ranks play in a dumb way where they don't really realize how quickly they need to rotate, and then you might rotate on time and just get punished because 2 or 3 teams are behind you and they want to fight you, and then you have to rotate, and then you're going to get held out. And so I think a lot of people don't really understand when they need to rotate and when they need to fight. And if they can't do one, they choose to do another. So I would just make sure you're on top of your rotations, figure out where you're rotating to, where you're headed, what route you want to take. Just be on the same page as your teammates. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, but I can't find teammates and I just get stuck solo queuing. And look, I've been there. I solo queue a lot. But, I have a couple friends, and when we get together, we decide to play some ranks. So you can find teammates all over. You can solo queue and meet people. You can look online. There are, whether it's social media or whatever, Reddit, Twitter, you can find people. There's always people looking to play with one another, and it'll take some time finding a right fit. But I would just recommend finding someone that you get along with, someone who's not toxic. Don't focus so much on their skills. focus more on them as who they are as a person. That's at least what I look for. And as you guys know, the start of the rank split and the start of the season, people get reset to a rank and a half. So they're not in their respective ranks, and so gold feels like platinum, and platinum is like diamond, and mixed with some masters players, and then diamond is just even more messed up because of the changes they made to matchmaking this season. So it used to be once you hit diamond 3 and up, you were in pred lobbies basically, and the lowest rank I would usually see was a diamond 3 player in those lobbies, unless a diamond 3 player was teamed up with a platinum or whatever player, you know. But for the most part, it was D3 and above. But once I hit D4 last night, it's been like 80% pred teams and like 10% diamond, and sprinkled with a couple platinums. And I know they said they were trying to make people play only against their own ranks, but I can tell you that's not the case right now. And I don't know if that's because there aren't enough predators, or if the predators were waiting too long to get into matchmaking, so they kind of gave up on that. But maybe that'll change in a couple weeks when people start to rank up more. But I can tell you right now, it's really screwed up. So my teammates were still in platinum and I was diamond 4. So the matchmaking doesn't make sense. And I've also heard that some of these predators who are streamers, you know, have gone in lobbies against gold and silver players. So I don't know what's going on with the matchmaking, but I can tell you, once I hit diamond, it got very jumbled. Before diamond, it was pretty straightforward. Now, whether you're solo queuing or playing with a couple friends, or maybe you're playing with one friend and you guys are just duo queuing, it's really important that you guys communicate. Communication is the key to success in ranked. It's so critical. Understanding the situation in front of you is so critical, and communication oftentimes will help you understand the most. Bloodhound scam will be the second most helpful thing. But for real though, if you get your communication down, call things out, call which legend is cracked, call what you're doing. Like if you're taking an alternate angle, or if you're pushing someone, just be vocal. Let people know what you're doing. And I think that is the best way you guys will be coordinated, because ranked, especially higher up ranked, it's different. It's a different play style. It's all about team coordination. And if you're not on the same page with your teammates, you're going to get smoked by a 3-man that is, for the most part. Team coordination and team composition is just so critical. And that is really where you'll find all the success. Or if you see a successful team, that's where a lot of their success lies. You know, gun skill, movement, all that stuff is already implied when I'm talking about this. But team coordination is very valuable. And so, like I said, if you are playing with some friends, you know, make sure you guys are able to talk about what happened and what went wrong. Like, don't fall into, like, don't play with people if they can't, like, really talk about what went wrong. If you guys don't understand how you lost a fight, then you're probably going to keep losing fights in that same way or in a similar way. So it's really important that, you know, me and my teammates talk about, okay, this is how we messed up, or this is where he messed up, or this is where I messed up. This is what I should have done instead. This is what we should have done instead. And try to operate on the information that you have in the fight, and don't always go to hindsight. Just because you pushed a team and you lost, don't always be like, oh, I guess we shouldn't have pushed that team. Think about it. Maybe I should have went from a different angle. Maybe I should have used this ability or that ability, or maybe we should have waited for this or waited for that. Don't always go hindsight. A lot of people do this as well. They just say like, okay, well, we should have done the opposite of this because that decision didn't work out. Well, that's hindsight. You have to operate on decisions by the information that you know to be true, or what you think to be true. So if you scan a building, you see 2 people and you push them and it's a 3v2 and it turns out the scan missed the 3rd person and you guys lose that fight, like, you can't just say, oh, I guess we shouldn't have pushed them because it was a 3-on-3. It's like, no, I mean, something was out of our control. That's hindsight. You operate on the info that you think is true, and then, you know, you either win or lose. Just don't be toxic to one another. Find people you can actually talk about the fights with, understand what you do correctly and what you do incorrectly. And this may sound underrated, or people might not talk about this, but this is like one of the biggest keys to success. A lot of players do this naturally. The good players, they understand this stuff. When you're kind of climbing the ladder to get to these ranks, maybe if you haven't been there before, that is a very important aspect, what I just mentioned. All right, guys. And my last piece of advice for getting to diamond is make sure you have probably a mid or a long range weapon, and also a close range weapon. A lot of the open fields or open areas in Kings Canyon make it so that you're going to have to take some fights at a distance. So having the proper weapons to do that is also important. And then on the flip side, when you do end up closing the gap, you will need a close range weapon. And so carrying a shotgun or an SMG is extremely valuable in these lobbies. The Mastiff is obviously the meta right now. It's very strong. It's probably overpowered. So I really recommend using a shotgun or an SMG for the fights that when you close the gap, you know, you're well suited to win those fights. If this guide helped you in any way, I hope you will consider subscribing. And if you enjoy the video, please be sure to slap a like on it. Let me know down in the comments if you've played rank yet and what rank you are currently in. What's the matchmaking like for you? Does it seem better than last season or does it seem worse? All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'll catch you on the next upload. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.
Batty. Climbing here. Oh yeah, right here on me. Great. 91.
Let's go,
Fuck off,
dude.
bro.